Hey everybody, Fratm here, and gonna play a little bit of Extreme Tux Racer. This is my third Tux game in a series of older retro games on Linux. This one is one that it's probably one of the oldest Tux games I remember. In the early days, it wasn't quite as 3D-ish as it is now, but it's still a fun game. It's a racing game that basically you're a penguin sliding down the slopes in the snow. So let's give it a play. We gotta change the name. Fratm. Continue. There's a lot of maps. Secret Valley, In Search of the Holy Grail, Tux at Home. Well, I thought there was more. It looks like there's just the 3. So we'll start out with Secret Valley. I got my controller, but it's been kind of iffy. Oh, it's working good. So this game is just a good, fast-paced downhill skiing game, but you're a penguin instead of a skier. Open source, free, available on most distros, if not all. Maybe not some of the server-oriented ones. Go, Tux. There we go. So on my controller, X gives me a little boost of speed. Object is to get the fish, the mackerel. It's really free form. There's no rules about where you can go, but you can get stuck. You can get stuck in the trees. I've been stuck in holes. So if you haven't noticed, I've turned off monetization on my channel. I've decided I'm not going to go that route, and my videos will be free of ads unless Google puts them there without my permission. I'm getting tired of getting dinged for in-game music. Believe it or not, on YouTube, if you upload video gameplay, even if the video game authors don't care that you did it, most of them don't, if there's a song in the video game, you will get dinged for a copyright violation. And then what happens is the original artist gets 100% of any revenue you make, which I don't think is quite fair. I think it should be a shared revenue, maybe 50-50. So I've just decided I'm no longer going to ask for revenue. My channel's new. It's only been around for about 3 months. And believe it or not, in 3 months, I've made 97 cents. So, screw it. I'm doing this for fun. It's my hobby. I enjoy it. And that's all I want to get out of it, is the enjoyment of sharing videos and talking to you guys. I don't know if you guys keep up with technology, but have you guys checked out the HTC Vive? There's some great videos out there. If you're familiar with another YouTuber named Barnacles, check out his channel. He did a demo of the HTC Vive, and I never was even interested in the Vive. I figured it would just give me vertigo and make me sick. But after watching his demo, I'm just dying for one, but they're $800, so I don't know if I'm gonna ever get one. Maybe someday when I'm rich, if that ever happens. But man, I'm telling you, this virtual reality video gaming, I think, is going to be the next big thing. And oops. Anyways, that was that round. If you haven't had a chance to check out his video, it's youtube.com/Barnacles1. You can find it. And I think it's the last video he did. Actually, the last one he did was a video on guns. So probably one of the last two. I highly recommend watching that video. He's kind of a goofball, but that's the charm of his channel. But it's the first demo I've seen of the Vive that really impressed me. And I've watched a lot. I watch a lot of the tested channel, and they're always covering these virtual reality glasses. They cover the Oculus, and I don't know, they don't really portray how cool this thing is in their videos, where Barnacles, aka Jerry, really got it. So if you haven't had a chance to watch his video, and if you don't subscribe to his channel, I do recommend it. He's not a Linux guy. He's not anti-Linux like some YouTubers out there. Chris Perillo. But most of his stuff, his videos are mostly Windows related, and he does a lot of 3D printing stuff. Another really good channel on YouTube for Linux gaming is The Linux Gamer. He's been great. I talk to him every now and then on Twitter, and he's offered me a lot of advice on how to do my videos. So if you get a chance, check out his channel. If you go to my main channel page, he's listed under other Linux gamers or favorites. So I guess that was a shout out, an unintended shout out, just because I'm rambling as I play. Oh shit! Go, you little slippery penguin. Back when I first started doing Linux, Tux didn't exist. They actually held a contest to come up with a mascot for Linux, and a guy drew Tux, and it won. But back in the early days, when I first got into Linux, around 93, 92, 93, somewhere around there, it was Marvin the Martian. Every time you went and got a Linux CD, I would get them at the computer shows, and whoa, I don't think I can go that way. Oh yeah, I can. And you'd always look for that Marvin the Martian on the CD case, and you knew that it was Linux. I don't remember if there was a distribution name. It was so long ago. As you can tell, I've been doing Linux for ages. It started out, I worked at this computer store, and they had a Unix system for their point of sales, and I was a bench technician. I did PC and printer repairs, and we'd have to enter our work orders in the computer, and I was just really fascinated with this Unix that I've never seen before, and I wanted to learn more about it. So I asked my boss if I could have a copy of it, and he's a retired lawyer, and he was just totally against it. And so I couldn't get a copy of the Unix we used at the store, so I went online, and back then on my 28.8 modem, and found through the Usenets. I don't know if you've ever used the Usenets, but that was the news groups. I found Linux, and I had to download, oh geez, it was probably like 8 or 9, maybe 10 floppy disks for my first ever install, being installed through the floppy drive. No one had CD burners back then. And I just remember that I only had 3 blank floppies on my desk. So I would download one, copy it to the CD, put it in the computer that I had 2 computers, put it in the computer that I was installing Linux on. While it was installing, I had another one copying to the other floppy disk. I know I said CD, I meant floppies. And then another one downloading. So it was a 3-disc chain, and I kept doing it till it was done installing. And back then, the kernel version was .94, I want to say. but it might have been a 9.9. A lot of people keep telling me it was probably a .99, but for some reason .94 pops in my head. And I've been an avid Linux user since. A couple years after that, I ended up starting a business that ran 100% on Linux, and ran that for about 5 years. So, a lot of experience. You can't enter this race yet. Oh, so for some reason I gotta beat a time trial to get to that one. I haven't played this a whole lot. Needed to advance. Secret Valley. Isn't that the one we just did? I don't know. Oh, really cool thing. On the last video I did, the Super Tux Kart, there's a song that played during the track that I did in the Let's Play, and it's done by this group called the Dead Rocks, I think. And yeah, that's the one I got the copyright flag for. I didn't get a copyright strike. This is where they just say, hey, we're gonna take your money. Anyways, I contacted the original copyright owners, and it's a band in Brazil, and the band leader is Johnny. Hey Johnny, if you're watching this. Turns out he's a Linux guy too, and he watched the video and loved it, and so he posted it on his Facebook page, and of course I couldn't read it because in Brazil they speak Portuguese, and it was all in Portuguese, but it was really cool that it got a bunch of likes on his Facebook, and I ended up getting a lot more views on that video because of it. So that, I think that's really cool. He says he's a real big supporter of Linux and open source. Remember when I said I got stuck in a hole? This is it. There is no way out of this that I know of. Crap. This happened last time. You'd think I would have remembered. You can't really go uphill. Oh, look at that. I'm almost out. Last time I couldn't get out. Damn it. Okay, turn around, you dumb penguin. I hate that I can't adjust the camera view. Oh, so close. Get up there. Oh, I did it. That's awesome, because last time I could not get out of that hole. Okay, let's go. Get some momentum, dude. Swaying back and forth seems to help with the momentum. Maybe it's the number of mackerels that I get that determines whether I can get into that other track. Damn it. You can play this with the keyboard, but I really find that it's way easier with the controller. I showed this in the last video. This was $7.99 or $8 on eBay, and it's a Super Nintendo controller, but it's USB, so it's meant for PCs. And I just plugged it in. My Linux box meant 17.3, whatever the latest is. And it just worked. I didn't have to install any drivers or anything. It just worked. And I'm actually surprised it works with these old games. So that makes me happy. I'm probably going to buy another one because my Raspberry Pi project, which is going to be a MAME type multi-emulator arcade device, that's what I bought this for, but I'm really liking it on my desktop, so I might need to buy a second one so that... Damn it. Be nice if I get those dang fish. Go, dude, go. Fish! Give me the fish! So I'm looking for a train simulator that runs in Linux. If anyone out there knows of a good train simulator, I have a brother-in-law that loves trains, and I just converted him over to Linux this week. And that's the one thing he really wants more than anything is a train simulator. So if anyone knows of a train simulator, even if it's a flash game in the browser, as long as it runs well on Linux, post a comment below or email me. I'd really appreciate it. I can give you a shout out in one of my videos if you do that. Anyways, so that's Extreme Tux Racer, available through your package manager. This on most systems, maybe not on like CentOS or something, you know, ones that are geared more towards the, you know, enterprise Linux. But all the Ubuntu and Debian variants have it. You can always go to the Extreme Tux Racer webpage and get the source code and compile it yourself. It's another fun little time killer, and I enjoy these games. Out of the Tux series, the 3 that I've installed, Tux Racer, Super Tux, and Super Tux Kart, all 3 of them, I love them. I play them whenever I get a chance, and they remind me of the old console games, and they're just a really fun way to entertain yourself in Linux without having to load up Steam or deal with Steam, and they're free. I mean, who can complain about free? You know what I mean? Anyways, that's it for tonight. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you have a really good night. Again, you know, as usual, if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe, and you'll get notifications whenever I make new videos. Have a great night, and take care.